Well, it's that time of the week. Let's talk about the Academy. Yes, everybody, Russ and the West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well. It's Monday, and it's coming to the end of that season, isn't it now? We're getting there. Three more games left in the first team. But what we do every week, every Monday, is we take some time away just to concentrate on the Academy. With the Academy show, we do it every week. And we do it in three sections for anyone who's new to what we do here. We take the first section being any Academy news. Been a bit of news like in the last sort of week or so. Then we look at the players who are out on loan in the Academy. If you want to know what the first teamers were like in terms of the loan spells, clean downs, people like that, we did that at Hammers Headlines. Go back and check that out. And then we talk about any games that have happened over the last week in terms of the Academy and talk about what's going ahead, really, because obviously there's plenty of stuff with the Academy all the bloody time, it seems. So let's start with news. And we have had a bit of news, I think, a bit of news, to be fair. So let's crack on with that. Let me find the right button. There we go. So let's talk about, press the wrong button. That's the button I want. Let's look at Dan Rigge. Fabrizio Romano randomly, commented that Spurs were leading the chase for an 18-year-old wonder kid. Wonder kid, is that the right way to say it? Or 18-year-old, Academy star Dan Rigge. Dan's 18. Apparently, he's now on the radar for Spurs, Arsenal, Man United as well. We beat 8 clubs to him to get his signature back in a couple of years ago. This year he's been in great form for the under-21s and under-18s, mainly concentrating on the 18s, to be honest. He's got 12 goals and 6 assists in 26 games for the both sides combined. Scored a great goal in the win against Derby this season. And he's a good player, great player. Where I think, look at someone like George Earthy, for example. He's like the next one in terms of sort of very tricky, very comfortable on the ball, likes to make things happen, plays a sort of a 10 role, sort of likes to get involved. And apparently, after just 2 seasons of us signing from Man City, there's clubs circling him. He signed his first pro deal back in October this year. But as I said, Fabrizio Romano came out on Friday, I think it was, saying Spurs are in the hunt for him. There's no denying he's a sensational young talent. I think with the right pathway, he could make it into the Premier League for sure. And sort of maybe follow the trajectory of someone like George Earthy would, hopefully. But whether the Hammers board maybe want to cash in, I don't know. For me, he's very good at his age. I think there needs to be some sort of loan spell or to see how he fares in a men's game, so to speak. And, as I said, I did a list the other day of everyone that we've let go or moved on, and we haven't really had many sort of duds in terms of ones that have gone away and ones that we've missed out as of yet. They might develop, maybe, someone like Agielesi might progress into the Premier League or someone like that, for example. But at the moment, it's we've had not a bad hit rate of getting rid of the players who don't necessarily make the grade. But I think Dan's got all the tricks of the trade. He's got all the, he's a very, very tricky player. He's quite small, so he's in the middle everywhere, and little touches, little drop balls, things like that. And it'll be interesting to see what happens in the summer. And whether, he signed, I don't know how long the pro deal was, but it was in October last year. It's going to be a couple of years. So he's still under contract for another 18 months, I'd imagine. So it'll cost him a bit of money to get him off in terms of tribunal and stuff. So we'll keep an eye on that. Elsewhere, good news in the academy for the Lonelies. Freddy Potts won the Wycombe Wanderers Player of the Year award for his loan spell. Amazing achievement for someone who's literally, it's his first taste of first team football, and he's won their top player of the season. They revered him so much that he was actually had a slight knock, so couldn't make the last game against Charlton at the weekend. But they brought him on the pitch to say goodbye to the fans. An absolutely phenomenal loan spell for Freddie, and hopefully that will give him a confidence boost going into the summer, coming back for pre-season and seeing what can happen. I definitely think there's a space in the squad for him. The first team squad without a shadow of a doubt. But it's up to the team, isn't it, really, in terms of what's best next for Freddie's development? Would it be another loan spell, maybe going up to the Championship? Who knows? Or maybe even a lower league Premier League side, possibly, as well. I don't know. I do not know. But it wasn't just Freddie who won awards for his fantastic loan spell. Kian Forsen, he also won an award. He was on the bench, actually, for the under-21s on Friday. He's finished his time with the Daggers last week. So he actually won, I think it's third place in Player of the Year, which is very impressive. He had a very good, particularly sort of second half of the season. Took a little while to get into the side, but once he got into the side, was playing 90 minutes consistently for the Daggers. Elsewhere, Mason Terrick, he went on loan to Concord Rangers, and again he won the Sports Player of the Year. And he was presented with that at the weekend as well. So again, another one, fantastic. It's 3 awards for our loan signings. Brilliant achievements by all of them. And obviously they got some valuable first team experience, which is the whole idea of the loan spell, isn't it? Elsewhere, let's talk about the loanees, the players out on loan still. As I said, Wycombe played Charlton. Last game of the season at home. They won 1-0, and Gideon came on. He was a 63rd minute substitute. No, he wasn't. Sorry, tell a lie. He was an unused match day substitute, unfortunately, for Gideon. Didn't get any minutes at all, which is pretty annoying, you think, particularly towards the end of that. You thought he'd get 10 minutes, or they'd say thank you. But he didn't make any minutes, unfortunately. Who did was Dan Chesters. That was it. Dan Chesters, Salford City, their last game of the season, a 2-2 draw at home to Harrogate Town. He made a 63rd minute substitution appearance. And again, he took a while he obviously came in January. He maybe didn't take that while, maybe a game or so to literally get into the side, and has been pretty much a regular player. I think he was covering their right back, but he's been playing right back, right wing as well, wing back rather. So he's been doing 3 or 4 positions. So it just shows his adaptability. And again, coming back, who knows? I said, particularly, we're looking at people who could add to the squad going forward. Homegrown academy, he can play a number of positions on that right hand side, particularly in the defensive. Potsy moved him this season from a right winger. If you remember, he played in the Australia tour. Set up and Barm, I think, or something like that, for an assist in the Perth Glory game, I think it was. But Potsy moved into this sort of attacking right wing back, and that seems to be a really good position for him, and actually something we kind of need, sort of an Emerson on the right hand side, and Dan could easily do that. Elsewhere, Den Bosch, Christian Heggie, his side won 3-2, a vital away win against Viveve, and they're now up to 18th in the second division in Holland. They've got a couple of games left to play the season, but hopefully they'll avoid hitting the bottom spots for this season. Elsewhere, in terms of games played, there was only one game played by the 18s or 21s. It was the 21s on Friday, and I did a little match report. They lost 3-1 at home to Leicester City. Leicester City were 3-0 up at half-time. Incredibly clinical they were. I think they had 3 shots and 3 attacks, and that was it. But despite that, we secured second spot in the PL2 and a high seeding for the knockout stages. This was the last game in the knockout state in the regular season. Then it goes this sort of weird knockout tournament thing. And that was only our 4th defeat of the season. As I said, we were 3-0 up, 3-0 down at half time. And then there was a lot of huffing and puffing from our side. Cam Swire scored early on, but just wasn't enough. And there was lots of alls and these, which was quite annoying. I mean, there was chances throughout. Lewis Orford, Callum Marshall, Dan Rigge played, all coming close. And it would have been our fourth PL2 win on the bounce, but yeah, wasn't meant to be. I mean, I think the under-21s had 3 or 4 under 18s in the side, or definitely starting. The likes of Ez Ramirez started as well. We had Sean Moore playing on the right hand side. Yeah, it was a bit of a mismatch of a game. We will be confirming, I think, next week who we play. I think it's actually tomorrow we'll be confirming that, because the last rounds of the 21 of the PL2 is tonight, and then we'll find out who we've got. I think it's probably like to be Crystal Palace, but we shall see. I'm sure there'll be we'll learn that. The first tie will be the first week of May. I think it's away. I'm not too sure the first one, but we will see. Also worth noting, obviously where I sit, we have all the players who are injured sit next to me. So the likes of Ollie Skulls and Levi Lang and people like that. George Earthy was there. And I can report looking very well. Obviously asked how he was. He's fine. He's fine. So just obviously going through protocols, going through those last checks before he can play again. Likely to be probably the knockout stages, the under-21s, I'll be honest. But you never know. You might get some minutes at the Luton Town game potentially, or the Man City game away in the first team. But can report that George is well and looking fresh. And that's it, my friends. As I said, if you're new around here, don't forget to like, comment, share, all that good stuff. Put your comments in about the academy. It's always interesting to read. Thank you to our channel partners, Alloy Collectors. Don't forget, it's 25% off, I think. If you use the West Ham code, West Ham Network 25, get yourself a lovely little one of these quickly for the end of the season. There we go. You put your name on it. You can put the player on the top. You can put their name on the back of the shirt as well. All that good stuff. And you're helping out the channel as well by doing that as well. So take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, and come on, you irons. All right.